Alphabet, Google's parent company, has been on an absolute tear lately. They're pretty much rewriting the rules of big tech. So, how on earth did they pull it off? We're going to break down the strategy behind their incredible comeback, from their sheer financial might all the way to a full-blown AI revolution. It all really starts with this one number, 58%. That's how much Alphabet stock surged in 2023 alone. Now, this wasn't just some random market fluctuation. No, this was a huge signal that something fundamental had shifted inside the company, setting the stage for one heck of a comeback. So that brings us to the real question, right? How did they actually do it? How did Alphabet pivot so darn effectively to become a leader in AI, and in the process, drive its stock to all-time highs? We're going to unpack that whole strategy, piece by piece. And here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at the financial engine that powers literally everything. Then, we're diving into the AI revolution with Gemini. After that, we'll see how they're expanding way beyond just search. And finally, we'll tie it all together with their triple threat strategy. It's going to be good. Okay, first up, the financial powerhouse. Look, to really get the AI and hardware moves, you have to appreciate the sheer scale of the financial foundation Alphabet is built on. The numbers we're about to see, they're just staggering. Let's start with revenue. In 2023, Alphabet pulled in over $307 billion. To put that into perspective for you, that's more than the entire GDP of Finland. That's the kind of cash that lets you make these huge, long-term bets on the future of tech. But what's really wild is that it's not just about size, it's about momentum. By 2024, their operating income leaped to $112 billion. That's a 33% jump. So not only is the machine massive, it's also getting more efficient and more profitable at an absolutely incredible rate. This chart really puts it all together. You can see the massive revenue from 2023, you can see the acceleration into 2024, and get this, by 2025, even a single division like YouTube Ads is pulling in over $10 billion a quarter. It's like every single cylinder of Alphabet's financial engine is firing on all cylinders. So with all that cash, what are they doing? Well, that brings us to our second pillar, winning the AI revolution. All that financial power gets put to work right here. For a hot minute, it really looked like Google was falling behind in the AI race, but their response, it was both incredibly swift and decisive. This quote really says it all. The single biggest driver of this whole new era for Alphabet has been generative AI. It's not just some new feature they tacked on, it's a fundamental reinvention of their core products. And it all started with a project called Gemini. So what is this new thing? It's called the Search Generative Experience, or SGE for short. It's powered by Gemini 3, the latest version of their super powerful AI models, and it completely changes how search works. Instead of just a list of links, SGE gives you direct AI-generated answers right at the top. And here's the change in a nutshell. On the left, that's the Google we all grew up with, a list of blue links. But on the right, that's the future, an immediate, comprehensive answer. This wasn't just a simple update. It was a massive strategic move to defend their absolute dominance in search. But they didn't stop with their own products, no way. In a landmark move, Google partnered with Apple to integrate Gemini directly into Siri and Apple Intelligence. Just think about that for a second. Google's AI is now on hundreds of millions of Apple devices. That is a massive, game-changing expansion of its reach. This brings us to our third section, going way beyond the search bar. See, a true tech giant can't just be a one-trick pony. And Alphabet has been making some seriously calculated moves to build a diverse and super resilient ecosystem around its core business. And they have some serious breakout hits to show for it, too. The Pixel 10 smartphone, for example, saw sales jump 28%, making it a real contender in the premium market. And at the same time, YouTube Shorts just became a cultural phenomenon, rocketing past 200 billion daily views. It's nuts.
But this right here, this is the real stunner. For the longest time, everyone wondered if short-form video could ever make real money. Well, get this. YouTube Shorts now generates more revenue per hour watched than traditional long-form videos in the US. They absolutely cracked the code.
Meanwhile, in the high-stakes world of enterprise tech, they've been playing chess. First, they bought the cybersecurity firm Mandiant. Then, in 2026, they made a huge statement with the record-breaking $32 billion acquisition of Wiz. This timeline just reveals a clear, deliberate strategy to completely dominate cloud security. Okay, so we've looked at the money, the AI, and the ecosystem. Now let's bring it all home and explain the core strategy that really defines Alphabet today, what they call the triple threat. This is the heart of their comeback. It's not just one thing, but three powerful pillars all working together. First, you've got AI dominance, led by Gemini and SGE. Second, aggressive cloud expansion, supercharged by that Wiz acquisition. And third, real, tangible success in hardware, with products like the Pixel and the explosive growth of YouTube Shorts. This quote just perfectly captures the spirit of the company right now. Every single piece of their strategy, from the AI model itself to the phone in your hand, is pointing in the exact same direction, towards the next decade of technology. It's a unified and incredibly powerful vision. And that really leaves us with this one final thought. Alphabet has built this incredibly powerful, multifaceted engine for growth and dominance. Their triple threat strategy is clearly working, and it forces all of us to ask a very real question. With this much momentum, who out there can possibly compete?